Yeah, I've got a lot of air.
I ain't afraid of work. I ain't afraid of play. I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life. Times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
Welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm. All around us is a 150-acre first-generation cattle operation, and we'll be bringing in chickens and pigs and all kinds of fun stuff here in the future. Who knows, maybe even sheep or goats. So what we have here is a 1,500-gallon water tank. This water tank is from Northern Tool. I'll post a link down the video description. Northern Tool has been an awesome supporter of the channel here and an awesome supporter of the farm. They gave me a smoking deal on this critter, and this is what we're going to be putting in the ground. Now, this is an above ground potable water tank, okay? So we're varying our installation method from what the factory recommends, but we're going to learn and we're going to have some good times. And if it fails, I'll be the first one to tell you all about it. So what we've got to do is take this tank and we've got to put it in a hole right here. So we've got the Woods BH100 ground breaker, and we're gonna be breaking ground here in just a minute, and we're gonna dig until dark pretty much. I've got water line trenched all over the place. This is our solar well setup. I'll post a link at the end of this video, and be sure you stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, guys, because we'll do a comprehensive video of this entire watering system. It's a huge, huge project, a huge project. So this is my trench, and that's my pipe. It's 1.25 inch poly pipe. We're gonna be installing a valve, and I'll show you how we install the valve down in the ground with a hand hole. We'll show you how we build that. This is gonna be a fairly involved and fun video, so be sure you stick around to the end to see it in action, getting some water in this tank. I'm super excited for it. And we're gonna dig our hole just a little bit bigger than our water tank because our water tank can't take this. Rocks, okay? So we can't have rocks doing that, button up against the tank. The tank will move. In other words, with heat and cold cycles, it's going to swell and it's going to contract, and that will cause movement. So what we have to do, I've got a whole dump truck load of rock dust down there, or screenings. It's what they wash off of gravel to clean the stone. And we're gonna put that in the hole, we're gonna tamp it down, we're gonna level it out, and we're gonna get busy. So without further ado, I'm gonna start digging, and then I'll talk you through everything we're doing as we're doing it. If you have any questions, please post them down there in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get busy, fire up the tractor. There we go. While that's warming up, we're gonna run over here, and we're gonna measure this tank, and we're gonna take our stake, put it in the ground, and get rocking. The measurement doesn't have to be perfectly exact because we're gonna build the hole bigger than the tank because we're gonna backfill with rock dust and then have soil on top of it. So basically just rock dust so that we don't grind into the plastic on this tank. It's a single walled tank, poly tank for potable water. There, that's how you make a spike. We're gonna get about right here. This twine's gonna go around this, but it will catch and it will pick. So we're gonna tie it around this hose clamp real quick, and all we're gonna do is just tie a little granny knot or two on here, just enough to hold it. And I'll show you why we're doing that here in just a second. So we've got a 10-foot hole, potentially a 12-foot hole. We're gonna put that right around, just like that. We're gonna take it out, we'll get our measuring tape, and we'll go right to that post. We're gonna measure out about 5 feet, okay? That's our 5-foot mark. I'm gonna cut my twine. Now we're gonna get our paint. This is water-based marking paint, so it'll go away. We'll pull this out right from the bottom and we'll mark. Okay. We're gonna go all the way around in a big old circle. Just that simple. That's how we mark for a round hole. Now, will the hole be perfectly round after using that backhoe? Probably not. All right, I'm happy with it. The hole is big enough. It's about 11 by 11, so perfect for what we're shooting for. We'll see you guys in the morning, and when I get the skid loader up here and we start dumping rock dust in here. I gotta haul the rock dust from just right over there up to here. Probably take 3 scoops. We'll smooth it out, tamp it down, and lay the tank over in. Now, you may ask yourself, why in the world are you burying this tank? It's not supposed to be buried. It's gonna void the warranty, all that. Well, this tank has to hold water, and the water can't freeze. So if the water freezes, the tank is obsolete. It's designed for an intake right here and an output right here, but all we're gonna have is an input/output because we're running it off our solar well. So the water will fall from this tank to an area of lower pressure, and at nighttime when the well isn't running, because it only runs when the sun is shining, we store water, not power. We don't have to maintain this, it just sits here versus batteries and the charging unit and all that stuff. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this. Cool, see you in the morning. So guys, this hole is gonna take several scoops of rock dust or screenings, and this is basically like sand. So when we put this in here, we want it a little bit higher on the back side than we have it on the front side, but as level as we possibly can get it. We'll tamp it down. You can see me using this tamping tool right here. We'll pack it down, and then we'll lay the pipe down in the hole along with the tank and connect everything up with our clamps, just like we said before. Now we've got to heat all of our connections before we hook them up. So this 1¼ poly is not forgiving. I don't care how hot it is outside. The next thing we got to do is plumb in the sensor, and the sensor, it's a float valve, and basically this float valve stays open until it flips up and then it closes, and that stops the well pump. So the well pump is no longer ran off of pressure, it's ran off of the water level sensor in this tank from Northern Tool and Equipment. We are all the way down at the bottom of the hill here, and what we got to think about is attaching our tank to the water line, and the water line is full of water. So I've got a plug down here, and this is approximately 1,500 to 1,800 feet from the wellhead. You're gonna see some water. I'm probably gonna get wet, but what I'm gonna install here is a valve system so I can turn off this side of the farm here. So this is the other side of the farm, guys. So first thing I gotta do is get wet. I'm gonna cut this line, and you can see we've got a plug here, and I'm gonna cross my fingers that I don't get soaking wet and drenched. But if I do, them's the brakes, right? Yeah, I've got a lot of air. Well, I'd say we got water pressure. Oh my goodness. Whoa, dude. Oh, I didn't anticipate that. Oh man, that'll make the blooper reel for sure. Oh man. That is hilarious. That thing is blowing some water, man. We've got water pressure. I'm soaked, dude. Look at that. Boy, life on the farm can be fun. It can be a challenge at times, but boy, it can sure be fun. So all I'm gonna do after this thing gets done draining is slide this guy down in here, and then I'll have a valve to shut it on and off. The water line will be completely drained, and it's gonna be filled right back up when we get ready to test this thing at the end of the video. What a challenge. I also have a valve set up, and I'll show you guys how I'm setting everything up for the handhold down in the ground, and we'll start moving some rock dust. Whew. It is the next day, and I am wet. All right, so that's installed. All of our connections will be 180 degrees rotated. In other words, every clamp will be rotated 180 degrees, and these are all stainless connections. And now I have a way of turning the water on and off. I should have done this to start with. We live and we learn. Now we're gonna drain the whole system out. It's just about drained now. Probably about, I don't know, 20 more gallons in that pipe. That was a lot of pressure, huh? Let's go on up top and we'll start plumbing everything in. So in order to hook up to the tank, I've got to show you this, guys. And I'll show you a cool tool that I made that's right here. That was a pretty fun tool to make. Hopefully you saw that in one of my short videos. So this is a piece of 6-inch corrugated pipe. This is my hand hole, meaning my hole that I can reach down in and turn this valve on and off with. Now, a standard valve comes, let me see if I can find one, like this. See the arm? On and off. Ugh. Just like so, okay? Now, in order for this to fit in that 6-inch pipe, and this is just an example piece of pipe, it won't fit, see? Okay, so I had to make an adjustment. I took this handle off, I put it in my vise, and here is what I came up with. You guys might be rolling your eyes at this, but I bent it upright, okay? I bent it upright. Now the problem is I can't reach all the way down in this tube and get a hold of that and turn it with my hands, nor could one of my farm helpers that I might have in the future. So I built a tool to do this. And the way this is gonna work, I'm gonna drill the last hole with you guys, and then I'm gonna show you the tool. So I've got a hole drilled right here with a hole saw. So this hole's on this side, and you can barely see it. And the next hole virtually has to be in the exact same spot on the exact opposite side. And what we're gonna do is just take this hole saw and drill that out. Feel pretty confident that's it. Okay, now, peekaboo, you can see through, okay? So, set this to the side. Now, how do we get our pipe in? Well, here's what I did, and here's what I'm gonna do right here in front of you so you guys can see how I do this. And there's some brain work right here, okay? There we go. Another Northern Tool product. All right, so now we can open this guy up, and our valve goes right down in there, okay? That is our hand hole. All right, so this will be the water supply, and that will go to the tank. Now this is a glue-in fitting. I'm gonna thread in a fitting to the tank, a 2-inch fitting, and it'll slip over, and this is 1.25 inches, okay? So we'll glue it all together, push it all together, and that's why I didn't bury the tank. I might have to adjust it just a little bit that way in order to make this happen. So now we gotta press this on, and we'll slip this guy out. This will be easy enough to install. Now the science that's at work here. You see how this is not at the very bottom, okay? I could have just notched it out right here, but I didn't notch it out. The reason I didn't is because I don't want it to sit directly on the ground. I want enough room for a little bit of yucky to get in there, okay? And what I've got to fit over on the top of this is a handhole cover. So this handhole cover will slip right on there, just like that. And now I'll have an access point under the ground. This could be a totally separate video to get to my valve. And the cows won't step in it and fall in the ground. So my valve will be right down in there, and this cap will be on here. This will be buried up deep enough that it will not, where is it? There it is. It'll be buried up deep enough that it'll hold in place, and we want it to stick out of the ground probably about that much right there, just so I can see it, recognize it, and that'll be super easy, super simple way to make a hand hole. Each one of my water tanks, my tire water tanks that you're gonna see installed in a future video will have one of these designs in it. This is the first one I built. I may improve upon the design, so subscribe so you can see it again. As I heat this pipe to install it, it actually softens the pipe up and helps those barbs grab just a little bit better where these connections are. It's a little bit overcast, but we're gonna try it. I went down, I closed that valve that we just installed and got blasted with water, and we don't have a whole lot of sunlight right now. So my fingers are crossed that the well should kick on. I may have it turned off here. Let's make sure. All right, if we got enough sunshine, we'll start pumping into the tank. If we don't have enough sunshine, we're going to talk about the next leg of this project, which is installing the sensor, and I'll explain exactly how it works. You guys probably don't need to see it wired in, but we'll talk about this system. So this is from Lawrence Solar, guys. This is a sensor right here, senses how much sunlight we have. These are the solar panels. There are 8 solar panels, this thing. These 4 solar panels I just put up, and the wire is right there for me to plug them in. If they were plugged in and we had that much sunshine, see the sun, we would have enough power. Now, it's just simple enough. We just flick a switch right here. Now, this is Bluetooth controlled, so there's all sorts of different things we can do. We can vary the speed of the motor, the water, that we can see how deep the well is, how much drop we have in the well. We can see all sorts of stuff. Not how deep the well is, but how deep the pump is. There's some lightning protection stuff right here, so a lot of stuff going on. And we have to run a little trench from the tank over to the controller, and we're gonna do that later on. No leak, looking good, ready to bury. We look down the trench here. You guys can't see as good as I can with the camera. However, I slip this guy off and I see no leak whatsoever. Awesome. Show you guys real quick how my tool works, my awesome homemade tool. So again, I'm just gonna drop it right down in the hole. Slides right over top of my valve, and then to turn my valve, all I do is this. That's it. Awesome, huh? Very cool. So it's on. So last but not least, this is the float valve, okay? This floats inside of the tank right here. And the way we're gonna install this is pretty interesting. We're actually gonna unreel this entire roll of wire, and I've gotta run it into a PVC pipe, this PVC pipe. So this PVC pipe will be mounted inside. So this guy right here is mounted on the lid, and what it'll do is, I'll take you over here and show you. This PVC will sit right down in the tank. So this is a lid, it's an unscrewable lid. So what we'll do is we'll drill a little hole and we'll install what I call a bulkhead. We'll make a bulkhead and we'll have a good seal. I've got some RTV to go on this. This will be down in the tank and the float will dangle off of this right here. So once the water level reaches a certain amount, the float will kick in. This will be adjustable because I'm gonna drill this out and I'm gonna find just the right water level. Again, guys, we'll show you that in a future video because this is so much. There's just it's like being fed with a fire hose. There's so much information here, guys. So that's it. The goal with the entire water system, we store water, we don't store power. So we don't have to maintain a solar charger and 20 batteries and all that stuff. We just store water. This is the highest point on the farm. Water will fall from this to every waterer throughout the farm. 4,600 feet of water pipe going in here, guys. 12 different cattle waterers. It's gonna be awesome. Among that, there'll probably be some hose bibs and water attachment points. So it's great. It's really awesome. I've got work to do. So I've got my bucket right here and I'm gonna get my little short-handled shovel. I'm gonna start backfilling this guy. I wanna get a little bit of water in it before I start dumping soil in there. So pray for sunshine so this thing will go on and fill up and we can get busy. If I don't stay up here because we don't have the sensor, it will just keep filling and it will overflow. So I've got to watch it. I'm going to get about 2 feet of water in there, then I'll shut the well pump down. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge today. This has been an awesome, monumental day. This is not designed to go in the ground. Let me be sure and tell you that. So if you're doing this, do it at your own risk. But I think it's gonna work out just fine. As long as we've got good soft soil around there, we'll probably have to put a fence around it to keep the cows off the top of it. Cool, see y'all next time on the Stoney Ridge. Pound that like button, hope to see you in a future video as we build tire water tanks and we install Mirror-Fount frost-free water tanks. It's all about preventing freeze right here. See ya.
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife and bring your kids, we're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Cross my fingers that I don't get soaking wet. A lot of air. Getting into the boat. Hey man, got this stuff done, man. Looking good, boy. Got a big old hole. What's up, man? What here? It's all right. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my pet rock, Bobby. Say hey, Bobby. This is why we call it the Stoney Ridge, man. I've been rolling rocks out for years. Good job, Bobby.